A decade ago in 2013, the average price of a home in the Greater Toronto Area sat at $522,000. Today, that average is seen to inflate 115% to $1.126 million. Decline in affordable homes. This is a topic that shouldn't surprise anyone, especially those living in Canada's more expensive urban markets like Toronto or the Greater Toronto Area, Vancouver, Victoria, etc. MPAC, which stands for the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, came out with some data recently which reiterates the increasing difficulties first-time homebuyers face when trying to enter the real estate market. I put out a shorter version of this video on my Instagram and my LinkedIn pages a couple days ago, but I wanted to make an extended version which highlights the other side of the coin. And that other side is that although home ownership is a very tough feat for first-time homebuyers in today's society, especially at affordable price points near city centers, young homebuyers are embracing the necessary trade-offs you have to be willing to make to get into those first properties, and this group of people are actually making sacrifices in order to have their dreams turned into a reality. Before getting ahead of myself, my name is Trey and I'm a realtor here in the city of Toronto in the Greater Toronto Area who covers real estate news very frequently across the many different social platforms with the intention of keeping you informed about buying, selling, and rental stats here in the GTA. If you would like to book a time to chat, or if you have any real estate questions at all, please feel free to book an education call with me by using that first link down in the description below and pick a time that works for you. Now, let's get back into it. So in real estate, you've got four main types of dwellings on a really general level: detached properties, semi-detached properties, townhouses, and condo apartments. The price range will also follow that same order, with detached properties being the most expensive and condos being the least expensive or the most affordable option for consumers to choose from. If you have a look at my screen here, you'll see the average prices for data pulled from the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board based on all sales that were reported in the month of February 2024. Last month was a more vibrant time in the GTA housing market. Sales increased to the highest point that we've seen in the last 7 months, and prices were solid. In addition, all asset classes saw gains on a month-over-month basis. I just did a video on that subject a couple weeks ago, so make sure that you go have a look at that one after you finish watching this video for an in-depth breakdown about the GTA housing market last month. But as you can see, detached properties in Toronto were the most expensive at $1.65 million, and go down the list naturally to where condos are the most accessible, especially for that first-time home buyer, right? This should all be pretty clear based solely on a square footage basis. Detached homes are much larger, you have more space on the property, multiple levels, versus a condo where you're confined to a much smaller surface area. Getting back to the MPAC article though, a decade ago in 2013, the average price of a home in the Greater Toronto Area sat at $522,000. Today, that average is seen to inflate 115% to $1.126 million. Keep in mind that both of these figures are for all asset classes combined. I'm personally a big advocate on first-time home buyers not making their first purchase at that average price point, since you'll have to have a minimum of $250,000 down versus $50K if you were to go the condo route, right? But MPAC says that condo prices in the GTHA have soared and only 11% of available units are priced under $500,000 today, whereas 88% of condos were priced under $500,000 in 2013. If you're looking at purchasing around the $500K mark with the intention of being close to the city of Toronto, your only option is to invest into a condo. Otherwise, you can drive until you qualify, like I've had some clients do just last year. They were keen on having a detached property with more space, so we drove out of the city until they found something that fit their bill. And this is where the coin flip comes into play. This article posted by Real Estate Magazine titled "Young Canadian Homebuyers Embrace Trade-Offs for Early Ownership" runs through a survey that was conducted by Houseful. The survey found that 38% of people under the age of 30 have either purchased or are in the market to purchase earlier than they had originally expected, compared to only 18.4% of people over the age of 30. I'm not sure how big the pool of respondents were here, but I found this stat really interesting. Now, the trade-offs that the survey was referring to fell into these three categories. Number one, opting for smaller spaces. Two, prioritizing the present. And three, being flexible on locations. Opting for cozier, smaller spaces, a majority of first-time homebuyers under 30, which is 65.2%, are willing to settle for smaller living spaces, contrasting with those over 30, sitting at 47%. I think this is a really popular one. Many people under the age of 30 have probably grown up around condos or visit their friends that have a place in the city or something like that, and get a sense that this type of living situation would work for them also, compared compared to the older generation before us who prioritize maybe the white picket fence and wanting to have a lot of space. Next up, prioritizing the present. Instead of fixating on a forever home, younger homebuyers prioritize properties that suit their current life stage, with only 53% claiming to have found their dream home compared to 72.6% among those over 30. I think a lot of people recognize that if they can see themselves in a particular place for 5 to 10 years or just a little longer than that, then there are real benefits to making that first purchase at the condo stage or wherever you can afford, and letting the market do its thing, paying down the property, building equity, and then when you're ready for a family, you can then make the jump and transition into the bigger home, which may be a forever home or it may not be. A lot of people will move more than once, 2, or even 3 times in their lifetime. Having flexible location preferences, location holds less sway for younger home buyers, with only 28.3% prioritizing it as opposed to 35% among those over the age of 30. Additionally, a majority of younger buyers, 56%, are open to residing more than 25 kilometers away from major cities. This one is totally a personal preference. You either get the condo at an affordable price point in the city if you prioritize that type of lifestyle, or you drive until you qualify for a freehold product, like I said at the beginning of this video, but you'll be in a totally different market, right? Keep that factor in mind, but that might suit your lifestyle as well, even better if you aren't somebody that likes the rat race in major cities. So there's a lot going on in the world of real estate here in the Greater Toronto area. I want to hear from you, especially if you're around the age of the respondents in this survey, and if you could let me know what your preferences are when it comes to housing, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.